Oh, welcome to my weekly self-important Magic the Gathering show. I forgot to call it self-important like last week or the week before. That is mildly sad for me. Because I want to remind everyone that this is self-important. I do it for myself. So that makes it extra cool that other people are interested in this. So thanks to all of you for indulging in my ego, I guess, or whatever. As I said last week, we were going to give Jane Foster a deck. I did change the name because I thought this name was better. Oops. We'll get to that name in a second. I'm just copying the things I need to copy. So before, the name of the deck was like Diary of Jane, a Breaking Benjamin song, which is a band I couldn't tell you what they sounded like because I didn't listen to them. But Jane's Addiction is a band that I'm way more familiar with, and I know a couple of Blink-182 songs, and that actually makes a more clever name, because Jane's Addiction, because her name is Jane and she is addicted to Blink, and then Blink-182 is another band name. There, I explained the joke and ruined it, but let's go through this. So we got the Mighty Thor, Jane Foster, 3/3 for 3 with flying. Whenever she attacks, we exile up to one non-token artifact or creature, and then return to the battlefield under its owner's control. Whenever an equipment you control enters, draw a card. Sweet. And then we got a little extra blink over here. I only cared about the ones that blinked artifacts, so that's why Conjurer's Closet isn't here, nor is Thassa's Oracle, because they only do creatures. And while we would still get the Jane Foster effect for blinking creatures who are also equipment, it's not like we're swimming in those. So Dawn, Leo, and Teleportation Circle all do it at the end step. Displacer Kitten does it when we cast a non-creature spell. So that's just to get extra draws out of Jane Foster. Then we have the Assassin's Creed Mjolnir, because the Marvel set Mjolnir is a red card, and so it wouldn't go in here. When Mjolnir enters the battlefield, attach it to target legendary creature you control. That was another thing that was important. Things that auto-equip when they enter. Don't have a whole lot of those, because not a whole lot of them are good. Sorry, I was scratching an itch and it felt good. Whenever equipped creature attacks, target creature defending player controls and put a stun counter on it. That's always good. Then Mjolnir deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of tapped creatures that opponent controls. So that's pretty neat. Masterwork of Ingenuity, that copies another equipment on the battlefield. Click here, because now we're going to want to start doing it this way. Pure Steel Paladin, control equipment enters under your control, you may draw a card. And then if we have at least 3 artifacts, our equipment equips for 0, so that's always good. SRAM, draw a card on the casting of an aura, equipment, or vehicle. Not as good as Enter, but, you know, it's a 2/2 for 2, so. Key to the Vault, another piece of equipment. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, look at that many cards from the top of your library. You may exile a non-land card from among them. Put the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. You may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. So that's, just, a free card. Reality Chip, that allows us to draw off the top of our, or cast off the top of our deck. Acquisition Octopus, draw a card on combat damage to a player. Either itself, but it is also a piece of equipment, so the thing that it's equipped to can also gains that effect. Assassin Gauntlet, When it enters, attach it up to one target creature you control and tap all creatures target opponent control. So that's something really good to blink. Equipped creature has +1/+1, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, loot, draw a card, discard a card. You know I don't like discarding, but this kind of deck, it's just like, yeah, whatever. At some point, you draw lands you don't really need or something, or a piece of equipment that isn't relevant to the board state. I gotta get... I understand that at 46 years old, I need to be more mature about discarding my own cards. Because I'm not one of those discard pile as an extra hand people. I don't play a whole lot of recursion. Buster Sword, combat damage to a player, draw a card, and cast a spell for free of less than or equal to the damage that you dealt. Of course, we won't actually use this $100 version. I just like blinging out the Architect decks. Bioorganic Carapace auto equips on entering, so that's always good because then Jane Foster can equip it to herself with her blink ability. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card for each modified creature you control. So that could get out of control depending on how many modified creatures you have. Vibranium Strike Gauntlets, flash, so you can cast it at any time. Enters, attach it to a creature you control, so that's always good. Equipped creature gets +3/+0 and has, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Genji Glove for 1 extra combat a turn. Kappa Cannoneer because we're playing a lot of artifacts, and when another artifact enters the battlefield, this thing gets a +1/+1 counter and can be blocked. Oh, and you can tap artifacts to pay for the generic mana. And Ward 4 is almost hexproof. And then that's a land, so let's... Land section is hardly interesting. The Shadow Spear makes things not have hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. That's usually helpful. And then also, equipped creature gets +1/+1 trample and lifelink. Arm Guard Familiar. This is a creature, also equipment. +2/+1 and Ward 2. The old Lightning Greaves. Like, Shroud is technically not good, but, like, that's I have no other equipment, and I need to protect my commander because it's important that she stay alive. When this equipment enters, it has its flash speed, super suit. When this equipment enters, attached to target creature you control, untap that creature. That's the important part, and then +1/+2 is fine. So pseudo vigilance for blinking the super suit. Swiftfoot Boots, hexproof and haste instead of shroud and haste over the other ones. Cloudsteel Karen to not lose the game, and that's always funny. Mithril Coat. Black Panther's Claws, that is actually the Hammer of Nazahan, so that gives us free equips on all of our equipment. Indestructible to the equipped creature and +2/+0. Bloodforged Battle Axe because it makes more of itself. Though the tokens we can't auto equip because they're tokens, but it triggers more card draw, so with our commander. Wrecking Ball Arm to give us higher base stats, 7/7. And also makes it to where it can't be jump blocked, but you know. Razorfield Ripper. Oh, this is a equipment creature. It gives you energy, which we have No way to spend except for on this reconfigure cost, as far as I remember. I don't think I went into big with it. But you get +X until the turn where X is the amount of energy you have, so that just gets more and more. Hulkbuster makes us a 9/9. This gives us power and toughness equal to our life. Excalibur, it can be free depending on how many historic permanents you have. That's artifacts, legendaries, and sagas. And then +10/+0 in vigilance. Sigarda's aid, cast equipment as though they had flash, and auto equips on entering. Then our not really super inspired Ram section. Besides Sid, we did the cost reducers. Equipment and vehicle spells are 1 less to cast, flying on our turn. Oh, and he can recur equipment from our discard pile to our hand. Dowsing Dagger, since our commander has a form of evasion, so we don't have to worry about those O2 plants. And this can turn one artifact into another artifact. But it can make it to where we can have 2 copies of a legendary artifact, because it makes it copies an artifact, but the copy isn't legendary, so she's cool. She also has the cost reduction. Sword of the Animist. Since we're only in 2 colors. Bitter Thorn, that's the also Sword of the Animist. Danitha, good creature that makes our ores and equipments cheaper. Boundary Inspector, Voyager Quick Welder, Vibranium Dynamo that I've started putting in stuff. Pre-war formal wear. When this equipment enters, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield and attach this equipment to it. +2/+2 in vigilance. So a bit of recursion for my smaller things. And then also Sun Titan. I said at the beginning of this that I wasn't running a whole lot of recursion. And this can get our small artifacts back. Lion Sash, Bespoke Bow. Oh, that bounces a thing when it returns, so that's a form of removal. Argentum Armor, destroy target permanent when the equipped creature attacks. Meteor Sword, that destroys permanent on entry. Destroy target creature on attack. And then, okay, those are equipment tutors. Because you can have up to 4, we discovered before. It raises your bracket. So, wow, that is 2 Azorius equipment decks. One because our commander was unblockable, and that amused me. Just because he's delivering the artifacts. He's delivering them. And then he hurts you and then keeps them. That almost makes sense. But yeah, the pre-war formal wear can get back our Stoneforged Mystic. Can get back Jane Foster, for what it's worth. Pure Steel Paladin, Furion, Reality Chip, Acquisition Octopus. Therium Sculptor, Sid, Shuri, Danitha, Foundry Inspector, the Voyager. Yeah, can get back most of our creatures. How many creatures do we have in this deck? Probably not that many. 21, including our commander. And a lot of them are mana value 3 or less. In fact, most of them are. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4 that aren't. So that's cool. So, categories. New deck. Those were 2 unrelated things. Just wanted to set it back to categories before opening a new deck. You almost want to run Black Bolt as a commander, but he definitely kind of deserves being in the 99 of another deck. Like, Black Bolt could have made it into either of the other two just as this flying double prowess thing, since there were so many non-creature spells. But he didn't make it. Sad. I will have to remember him for other decks, though. So now we're on supposedly mono green, because we might end up with color identities in the rules text. Zuri, Warrior of Wakanda. Trample. Whenever you cast an artifact, spell with mana for a greater +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Beh. X-23, Deadly Weapon. Whenever another mutant you control enters, that mutant and X-23 gets a +1/+1 counter. Okay. Not inspired yet. Wolverine, Claws Out. You may have Wolverine assign his combat damage as though he weren't blocked. Whenever a mutant you control attacks, doubles its power until end of turn. That is very straightforward. Assign combat damage as though he weren't blocked. And you can double his power. I mean, he starts off as a 2/5, so he's a 4/5. That feels like a very straightforward deck. Let's do that. No, I'm gonna save that name for a dumber deck. We're just gonna call it Claws Out. Let's get our lands really quick. Not these lands. Castle Garenbrig is a land that I used to be super stoked about, but then I'm like, it only really nets you an additional mana. But you know what? It does net you an additional mana if you're casting your creature, so I guess that's still fine. Boseiju, Nykthos. We're in green, so we don't need Mirri Landscape. I doubt we're going to have a lot of Forest Walk stuff, so we don't need Yavimaya. Oh, that's the Hideaway one. I don't think we're going to have enough creatures that we need to worry about not Gaia's Cradle. I don't know about Three Tree City, because that's creature types. I mean, we are doing Mutant Typal, which I know Typal is normally boring, but Mutant is one of the less boring Typals just because it's comic book characters. I mean, the same kind of goes with Hero. So we'll do Three Tree City. We don't play in... I mean me, don't worry about Cavern of Souls. But there's our snow-covered forests.
Get Paramount Plus and more streaming services to watch your favorites on YouTube.
Path of Ancestry for the scry. Lotus Field, sure, why not? Wow, that puts us at 36. So Boseiju is the destroys artifact, enchantment, or non-basic land, and then get any land card. Oh, land card with basic land type to put in the battlefield. Untapped, for the record, and it's either one in the green or just green if we have a legendary creature out. Nykthos is the pay 3 because we're tapping it itself. Pay 2, tap this. That's I shorthanded pay 3 to add mana equal to your devotion. I'm going back to Myriad Landscape because even though we're in green, I think the problem with Myriad Landscape is that it comes into play tapped. Otherwise, I don't hate it. It's pay 2 in it, so that's a total of 3. So that's cultivate mana. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards that share a land type. That's like futures proofing some weirdness. But so in our case, 2 forests, and put them both on the battlefield tab. So that's better than a cultivate, but you gotta wait a turn. Because cultivate only puts one of them into play, and it puts it into play tapped anyway. And regenerate target creature. No one wants to mess with regenerate. Bossing say that that does earthbending, which completely doesn't matter to us. Oh, Tyrite Sanctum. To make Wolverine an indestructible god if we have time. There we go. We're going to grab our removal before I forget. Forgot a very important. Forgot to order it by casting cost. And then I forgot to exclude mana value 0. Berserk, but it's got to be the secret layer. As a reminder, cast this spell only before the combat damage step. So that's after attackers and after blockers, but before damage, as it says. Sorry, scratching my ankle. Target creature gains trample and gets plus X plus until on turn, where X is its power. At the beginning of the next end step, destroy that creature if it attacked this turn. And it says destroy, so that's interesting, Because if it's indestructible, it doesn't get destroyed. So what else? Oh, Blizzard Brawl. It's a sorcery, though. Which reminds me.
Watch hit movies and TV shows on YouTube.
Being a witch is being a sister.
Get AM's.
Nope. Over here. Oh, okay. Hi. Hey. Bottom of my foot itches. We got to do the Frozen Esper version. So that's destroy target artifact or enchantment, controller gains 4 life. Mutants prey, but you need +1/+1 counters. Like I'm tempted just for the flavor of the title of the card, but our commander isn't a +1/+1 commander, even though +1/+1 stuff probably won't make it in here. Do. Huh. Turn to Dust is mildly interesting because it destroys equipment and then you add green to your mana pool, making the spell free. Bite down. I don't know how many of these things I'm going to pick. Oh, Cosmic Hunger. Oh, Collective Resistance, because it, for just 2, it destroys an artifact. For 3, it destroys an artifact and an enchantment. For 4, it destroys an artifact and enchantment, and gives one of our creatures hexproof and indestructible on the end of turn. I do like the escalate mechanic. I don't know how many of these things we'll keep, but this is our creature removal. Although, did I put I gotta double check. Deals damage. Deals damage. Deals damage. We don't want fight, we want deals damage. That's just a mechanic thing, because even though our guy has 5 toughness, we don't want to tempt fate. Put target creature with flying on the bottom of its owner's library. That's mildly interesting, but I don't really want to do anything that niche. Master's Rebuke. I'm not doing infectious bite because I don't want to worry people with poison counters for no reason. I kind of want to let artifacts and enchantments be largely other people's problem. I just put in the one because it was the most cost effective. Oh, this is the one with the trample caveat that does damage to the controller if there's excess damage. I'm looking at Beast Within. Oh, raw vibranium causes mutations. That's mildly interesting. And I'm like, it destroys permanence, right? And that's a thing I normally like. But do I really play in games where I gotta worry specifically about permanence that my other removal doesn't cover? Like, do I care about lands? No, because no one's really playing like Field of the Dead or whatever. Do I care about battles? Not really. Do I care about planeswalkers? Probably not. And I already said I was going to make artifacts and enchantments somebody else's problem. So maybe I don't need Beast Within. And now we're kind of, yeah, we're kind of beyond how much people are willing to pay for removal. Oh. I do like Pest Infestation, though. And Nylea's Intervention that I put in removal because just in case I'm getting overwhelmed with flying creatures. So that's not a whole lot of removal, but our hope is just to have Wolverine trundle over people. So now let's do our ramp. So our Thran Dynamo. The Worn Power Stone that I forget about a lot. It is better than the Thran Dynamo because it costs one less and adds. Oh wait, no, adds one less mana. Yeah, but it's in the same vein. We don't need Farseek because we're only forests. Into the north because I used snowlands. Rampant growth because we have 30 basics. Shared roots because 30 basics. Glimpse the core, nature's lore, and 3 visits.
Granger knows that as an HVAC technician, the heat is on you every day. Your first call, an office building with a noisy AC unit. Time to put your experience to work. On site, your meters don't lie. The blower motor's failing. But Granger's easy-to-search website
10 pieces of ramp.
helps you find what you need to keep the office and their HVAC running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Just thinking if there's anything else. Oh, card draw, I suppose. Since, you know, we will definitely be attacking with our commander. Mithril, it's the new adamantium. Now let's see what mutants we can have backing them up. Tyrannid, we're not doing that. Spider mutant. Huh. We can give things with +1/+1 counters reach. Not really where we're going. Big Bertha enters with X +1/+1 counters on her. And you can give her more +1/+1 counters. That's mildly interesting. That's Big Bertha. Something to do with mana. Oh, Mana Dork. That we gain a life if we control another mutant. During your turn, Colossus has Indestructible. Other mutants get +1/+1. Okay, sure. He's a little expensive at 5, but sure. Cytoplast Rootkin. Oh, Graft. Okay, not worried. Cytospawn. Graft. Darwin, Adaptive Mutant. Evolve would mean he gets bigger if something that is either stronger or tougher than him enters the battlefield. And you can make him indestructible by removing counters from him. Definitely not a turtle. Doorman, which gives conditional unblockability. Elven Aberration, it's a 6-mana Mana Dork with 4 cycling. Flatman can turn itself from a 1/10 to a 10/1. That could be a 21. Yeah, let's Flatman. Like, that's kind of a dream scenario. Ground Chuck and Dirtbag is another 6-mana Mana Dork. That gets us extra green out of our lands when we tap them for mana. They are an 8/8 with trample. Leatherhead is 7 mana +1/+1 counters. Or a hexproof thing that does something with its hexproof counters that I'm not reading. Oh, we have this Thanos-looking grandma. She enters with 2 +1/+1 counters. And then doubles the +1/+1 counters on your upkeep if it's power 16 or less. Otherwise, you remove all but one +1/+1 counter, and you gain 1 life for each +1/+1 counter removed that way. Mildly interesting. Whenever Michelangelo deals combat damage to a player, you may put a creature card and or a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Sure, why not? Each creature you control with a counter on it can't be blocked by more than one creature, and then when it enters or attacks, you get a mutagen token, which puts +1/+1 counters on things. And then a Michelangelo that never dies permanently. A lot of +1/+1 counter stuff that I'm not enthusiastic about. Oh, Mr. Immortal is the new Squee. Whenever a player casts a spell, we get a mutagen token. That's just... like, I know we're not doing a whole lot of +1/+1 counter stuff, but I like that. And she's a 4/4 for 4, so... Ugh. Oh, and then a Mana Dork based on her power. Mutagen Man, Living Ooze. Oh, he's actually just good because he makes mutagens. He makes it to where activating the abilities of artifacts costs 1 less. And so that makes activating mutagens for free, blood for free, clues for 1, food for 1. So that's neat. We'll put him in the deck. And he makes mutagens anyway.
On the YouTube Music app, you can bump your fave songs in the background while you clean up.
And sure, we'll X23.
Foreground. Try 1 month free.
Oh, Watchful Radstag is actually interesting. Has evolve, and then when it evolves, we get another one. So sure, why not? And it's a 2/2. Oh, Storm runs in and breaks stuff. She's also an X-Men, so all X-Men kind of automatically get in, which means I probably should go back and put some in that I might have missed. I don't think Mr. Immortal was in the X-Men. If he was, I apologize for being wrong. Darwin is in the X-Men as far as I remember. So that puts us as 11 creatures. So now we go O. We go to Changeling. Chameleon Changeling can double its power for paying its mana cost. Well, Realm Walker on the off chance that we want to, that we can cast mutants off the top of our library.
Every day. Your first call, an office building with a noisy AC unit. Time to put your experience to work. On site, your meters don't lie. The blower motor's failing. But Granger's easy
Mutable
to set
Explorer
website
gets us a
also
Mutavault
aren't
token.
needed to keep the office and your HVAC
That's technically ramp.
Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
And actually, I'm getting kind of tired, so I'm going to split this episode into bits. And I'm going to go lay back down for a while. Hopefully I finish this before Sunday. Because I'm also behind on my other recording, but like, I just... Again, blaming it on the weather. It said that at 15 total creatures we're kind of out of mutants. Let's go back up here. Control Z. Go back here. And kind of start being a little less picky. The Doorman can't be blocked. Taps to make a creature not be able to block by creatures with power 2 or less. or walls. Whoops. Foliage gets +1/+1 counters for landfall. That's honestly mildly funny. Sure, we'll do Ground Chuck and Dirtbag to give us more late game mana. Leatherhead, sure, we'll do +1/+1 counter stuff. This trades +1 that hexproof counter for a destroy an artifact or enchantment. Okay, we'll do this. Pretend that we care that it could gain us life. Okay, if our stuff dies, that one gets bigger. Each creature we control with a counter can't be blocked by more than one creature. This gets us extra +1/+1 counters per +1/+1 counter. +1/+1 counters or recursion. Sure, we'll do Mr. Immortal. We'll do this slightly more expensive mana dork. And Wolfsbane. I could have swore she was Alpha. Oh no, I think she's X Factor or X Force now. But especially by that costume. But for some reason in my head she's Alpha Flight, which is different. This can destroy artifacts and enchantments. This cares about creature types other than mutant. Oh, Renegade Crassus. It has evolve, but when it evolves, you get additional +1/+1 counters equal to the number of other creatures you control with +1/+1 counters. Sure, why not? Let's see where we are with creatures. Oh, we're at 30 creatures. That's probably too many. And we are at 92. Actually, there's no such thing as too many creatures. So, when I get back from my nap and continue this recording, we're probably going to look for more card draw. But not on creatures. There we go. For you, it'll be a second. For me, it'll be some number of hours. Okay, I'm all nice and rested now, and it looks like I was grabbing card draw for the Wolverine deck. Card draw not attached to creatures. We want repeated card draw. Ceremonial knife to make blood tokens.
Granger makes it easy to find and order the products your team depends on around the clock.
That sounds like an
Because
ad.
the boxes are packed, pallets are...
There we go. Finding Science, J.R. Tundra. Anyway, back up here. Of course, there's all this looting. Oh, Keen Sense. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. Hope to use that more than once. So 1 mana piece of aura. Dust on my glasses. There was not that much dust on my glasses. My pants must have already been dirty. Anyway. There's part of me looking at all of these creatures in my deck, remembering that I wasn't a big fan of all of them, and the biggest reason why they all made it in is that I wanted to stick to this being mutant typal. Which is funny because I said because of Marvel the mutant typal wouldn't be all that bad. And we still have interesting creatures in this deck because of Marvel and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's just that it ended up going in a +1/+1 counter direction, which I wasn't super keen on either. But maybe let's grab this Pip Boy. Oh, how many cards are we down to? Okay, 6 more cards. Then let's go back to the previous page. Was there anything? The Heirloom Epic is mildly interesting because it's 4 mana, draw a card, 4 mana and tap. For each mana in this ability's activation cost, you may tap an untapped creature you control rather than pay that mana. But this is a sorcery. I think we're going to put this Heirloom Epic in here just because I want to try it out. We do have 30 creatures in this deck. We're not doing the currency converter. Well, I guess we don't have any other, we're not really sitting on a whole lot of conversion, or recursion, so we may as well. Because whenever you discard a card, you may, and it's a may anyway, exile that card from your graveyard, pay 2, draw a card, then discard a card, or these are both tap abilities, or put a card exiled with this from your graveyard, into your graveyard. If it's a land, you get a treasure. If it's not a land, you get a rogue. Okay. Ceremonial Knife. It creates blood tokens. And we do have this kind of thing where we're making mutagen tokens anyway. This is not a May with the Bag of Holding. That's probably why I might skip that. Okay, so now we go back to 2 really quick because I don't know if I checked everything. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Okay, that's that other thing. Same mana value. Except I think it turned it into a May, so that's cool. I don't think we're making tokens for Skull Clamp. No, we're making non-creature tokens. Giving Wolverine Skulk is kind of funny, I think. No, the doubling their power happens before the block phase, so never mind that.
To watch your favorites on YouTube.
Oh, wait. Stocking the pantry. This is mildly interesting. Whenever you put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a creature you control, put a supply counter on this pantry. And then you can pay 2 to remove a supply counter to draw a card. We do have +1/+1 counter stuff in here. And if we can get this down early, sure, why not? This is one of those things where our commander doesn't make that easier. Oh, I should sort these things out. She is +1/+1 counters. You are ramp. Which... Oh, there it is. I was like, is it not a section, or am I just being dumb? I was just being dumb. Darwin. That's counters. That's the easiest place to put them in. That's evasion. Counters. I think I have a recursion section. Nope. Like, he recurs himself. I don't know how much that counts. I'm just going to keep him in creatures for now. Whoops. That's +1/+1 counters again. Trample is a form of evasion. I'm just going to put her over there. +1/+1 counters. I'm going to put her into counters just so I don't have to make that recursion section. Oh, that is ramp. Just there now. Counters. Removal. Ramp. That is an anthem. Anthem is a weird looking word. That's counters. That's counters. That's in the neighborhood of ramp. That is removal eventually. That's self-pumping. +1/+1 counters. And we're just going to leave this as creature. There we go. And we can still have... Oh, we only need one more. We only need one more card. So we'll have 9 pieces to draw, probably. Strength testing hammer is mildly interesting because it's... when this creature attacks, it gets plus X plus O equal to rolling a 6-sided dice. And then if it has the greatest power or is tied for the greatest power, you draw a card. And then I guess we'll do Zephyr Boots because it gives flying. There we go. Okay, I'm not 100% happy with this deck, but that just because it turns out that mono green mutants ended up taking us into +1/+1 counters, which is fine, but you know. It's all good. I don't hate this deck, but you know. And then this guy's already... Oh, no, I have not done this yet. I almost gave up on this deck, if I'm being honest. But I was like, you know, I'm going to follow through. There we go. So, new deck. Wow, we weren't very far in. A lot of these will have, several of these we'll have already looked at. Wolfsbane, that's the one that makes yourself bigger, sort of. What is that? Wakabi, Shield of the Nation. I think I made a Wakanda deck that put both these ones already in it. Even if they, like, really didn't go with the deck. But just because I wanted to have all the Wakanda stuff in a single deck. Vigilance, whenever you attack with your commander, if you control an artifact with mana 4 or greater, you get a Rhino. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
That helps keep your healthcare facilities ready for patients, because there's no time to manage orders and deliveries from multiple
And
suppliers.
Wakabi can be your commander, of course. White Tiger, Ava Ayala, I guess. And then you can power her up to make her a 3/3 and create a 4/4
For the ones who get it done.
that can't be blocked by more than one creature. Mildly interesting. White Tiger Amulet Keeper. There was more than one character named White Tiger. That's one of them legacy heroes where it's a mantle that's passed around. Exile this card from your graveyard, draw a card. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. That's mildly interesting, but not really for a commander. If you recreate one or more tokens and create those tokens plus an additional food token at the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, draw a card. I don't want to have... I'm not going to have Tappy be the commander, but I will make a Squirrel Girl deck, probably. Even though Squirrel Girl could also go into the Golgari Squirrels with Chatterfang. That'll happen later, but... You know, Squirrel Girl. But like I think everybody already knows by now that that you can go do it infinite mana, infinite squirrels with her already. So but I could show that off anyway. Oh, hey, look, a green Ajani Pride mate that has. Okay, it's not 100% because it's a 2/1 instead of a 2/2. It has Flash and Trample instead of not having Flash and Trample. But whenever you gain life, you get a +1/+1 counter on her, so that's cool. And she is a cat. She is a cat-human hero. So if you were doing Selesnya Ajani stuff, sneak her in. That's cool. There's the unbeatable Squirrel Girl. You know, we got. I feel like I would be doing myself a disservice as a fan of the silly characters in Marvel Comics if I didn't make Squirrel Girl for my show. I am going to put the dumb combo in it as well, which I think automatically makes it a. I think it makes it a bracket 3. We'll see. We'll see what Architect does with this information. Just moving around some stuff. Here we go. Doom of Doom. The unbeatable Squirrel Girl. Create a deck. I could go. Let's go to Claws Out. Yes. And copy the lands. Copy card names with quantity. Doom of Doom. Import. Yep, that works for me. Whoops. There we go. Okay. I'm going to do the creatures you control have. That's what I missed. Search is taking a while. Someone sent me a link to a game that does sound interesting. I'll reply to them later. Anyway. So, Cryptolithrite, Enduring Vitality, Sentinel Hierophants cost one more than even that, but you know, redundancy. That's Sliver Creatures. Okay, very interesting. I'm gonna change that have to can. Nope. Okay. You may activate. I don't remember his name, and I'm trying to find him the hard way. You may activate abilities of creatures you control as though. Okay. So yes. And then of course 1,000-year elixir as well. They don't consider infinite squirrels to be particularly bracket breaking. This over here. We're going to go haste and haste adjacent. Haste and haste adjacent. Or just haste and adjacent. There we go. Just and of course, giving our stuff actual haste. Concordant Crossroads. Well, yes, it counts as a finisher because you'd only play it when you plan on winning. But we're going to put it in haste and haste adjacent. There we go. That was weird. So that's like only 6 cards in the whole thing. We're going to add a lot of baloney cards. This is going to be a baloney deck. Like, yeah, he's not honorary squirrel, craterhoof behemoth. Do you have a problem with that? Yes, you do, but that doesn't matter. And this is, this looks sweet right here, but I imagine it looks even sweeter in person. I've only seen them in video. Oh, let's bling out this deck again. Just a little bit. But while I'm talking, yeah, no, I have a... Okay, that's a really cool, funny version of the deck. Hold on. Is that I said I like the weirder Marvel Comics characters? And niche ones. Like, I like non-niche ones. I like mainstream ones like Spider-Man. I'm a Spider-Man guy. I've been a Spider-Man guy for a long time. Even, like, I don't like Paul. I didn't like One More Day. But I liked Carnage. I liked, was his thing Identity Crisis when he came up with, like, 3 other identities because he couldn't be Spider-Man for a while? I like the Clone Saga, for what it's worth. I like Ghost Rider, and I'm 46, so I'm actually old enough to say this. I like Ghost Rider before he was cool, but I didn't know about him back before it was cool to say before it was cool. So, like, I didn't know about him when it was still Johnny Blaze the first time. When I got into Ghost Rider, it was at the beginning of Dan Ketch's run at being Ghost Rider, right when the Midnight Suns were starting. And I'm a big fan of the Midnight Suns and all those characters, even the characters in Midnight Suns that you might not even think are cool, like Morbius. And then I can typically remember the names of half of one of the 2 people that hang around with Blade, and that's Hannibal King, and he has another guy, and I'm fans of them too, even if I don't remember one of their names. But yeah, and then there's Vengeance, the other Ghost Rider. But then we go down to where I bought the Sleepwalker comic, and I was a big fan of Slapstick because I thought he was funny. And what's his name? Darkhawk, before he joined the New Warriors, and I liked the New Warriors before they were relevant. We're gonna do that Concordant Crossroads because it amuses me. Oh, I don't know why I did that. I can see why that's $130. And when it comes to the secondary market value of cards, when it's something like this, yeah, that can be worth some amount of money. And then this being $21 is pretty fine because it's alternate art. But stuff like this should be cheaper. That's just my opinion. Like alternate arts and stuff and treatments, yeah, that can have some value. But like the original version should be cheap. As much as I don't like how foils look in digital, we'll do this one. But just to go back in here, Edge of Eternities was great just because their bonus sheet of lands. I mean, some of them were kind of silly that they reprinted them, but like I felt it was a lot of really necessary land reprints, and that was cool that they did that. See, I don't think this has a whole lot of. Yeah, we'll just go. I guess this is a promo. Yeah, of course, Marvel Comics. That other one, the other deck we made, got all the digital ones that are like $18 each, and that's ridiculous. We're gonna go down here for that. Three Tree City. I think I do like this one the best. Tyrite Sanctum. That's a tough choice sometimes. Oh, Avatar Sanctuary. I actually kind of like the idea of that. Since it's universes beyond Secret Lair. Good old Enduring Vitality. This is getting a little ridiculous. Mostly because I don't even think it looks that good, but maybe it looks super awesome in person. This $500 version of the card. And the fact that this is $85. I do like the art though. Mildly interesting. Is this the Commander product? Yeah, that's mildly interesting. I do like my old borders as long as it's not the super ugly old border. There we go. We blinged out as much of the deck as we have made so far. I don't think we're going to put in any token doublers. Because the token doublers that do other stuff are on white, not green. So we have our absolute nonsense. Actually, wait, hold on. I'm just going to call this, whoops. With the exclamation point, like we're proud. There we go. Like we're proud and we're the first person to have thought of it. When we all know that ain't true. Just in case I need to say that out loud. 45 cards deep, counting the lands, and I haven't put a single other squirrel in it. Because we're doing ramp next. If you control 4 or fewer lands, Edge of Autumn is ramp, but if you don't, if you control 5 or more, you can sacrifice a land to draw a card. It's mildly interesting. We don't need Farseek because we're mono green. This grabs a basic forest. Or does stuff with caves that don't matter to us. Nature's Lore. Into the north. Oh, let's bling out our rampant growth. Not super bling it up. We'll do the Chocobo. We'll do the Final Fantasy one. We're going to bling out the shared roots though because I do really like the Mystical Archives one. Mystical Archives, another great
where you can also listen to the EDM version, the ska
and then
version,
3 visits.
and of course,
What are the 3 things that are visiting?
Get YouTube Music Premium.
Oh, it's something that the Fantastic Four have to fight, whatever it is. Scroll to top. So that's 6 pieces of ramp at 2. I did see the Good Time Boys podcast where they're like, where Mauld is like, you should be ramping on 1 and ramping on with a 1 mana piece of ramp and then ramping again on turn 2 with a 3 mana one. And I'm like, eh. I don't like creature ramp. Because I do play with people that do bolt the bird. And if I'm in green, I do like playing these specific cards right here. And if we weren't playing mono green, there would be a 7th one. Because Farseek would be here. I am going to dodge Artifact Ramp just on a principle. No, I will look at the actually wait. What is the mana value 1 ramp? That is a sorcery. Because they don't. Because I'm gonna have a problem with this. There's only 9 things listed. This is an X spell, so that. Huh. Okay, Animist's Awakening is actually kind of neat. It's reveal the top X cards of your library. All land cards among them go into the battlefield tapped, and the rest go to the bottom of your library in random order. But if you have 2 or more instants and or sorceries in your graveyard, you can untap those lands. That's mildly neat. It's not good, depending on how fast your games go. Caravan Vigil puts it into your hand. But if a creature died that turn, you can put it that land into play. Okay. Collective Voyage. Oh, that's the one where everyone can pay into it to get lands. But that's everybody. That is definitely a let's get this party started card. But it puts them into the battlefield tap, so you're still at a disadvantage. Target creature you control explores, and then you can play an additional land. Okay. Green Sun's Twilight. Oh, that's an X spell that gets you a creature and or a land. What does Metamorphosis do? Sacrifice a creature to add amount of mana. Okay. New Frontiers. Oh, that's it. New Frontiers is basically Collective Voyage. Only you pay all of the mana. Ugh. Oh, gain 2 life, create a lander token. That's... ultimately, that means 3 mana. Studious First Year comes with a rampant growth. I don't think we're going to do that. Because that's a 1/1 not... Oh, it's a bear. That's actually something I need to remember for Alula. The Bear Queen. So that's neat. So, not a squirrel, not an honorary squirrel. Okay. I was just curious as to what was in the 1 slot. So now we'll go to the 3 slot. Three mana to get a basic land untapped. No, it's still tapped. This is Between the Sands is absolute garbage. Reveal the top 6. That cares about elves. I'm skipping the Devoid card for the record. Each player. Coming attraction is Beneath the Sands again. This is absolute garbage. Like, these ones would be mildly less garbage if it was any land, because you're paying an extra for it. Destroy an artifact or enchantment, get a treasure. I understand. Cultivate. That gets you up to 2 basics into your hand. One goes into play tapped, and then the other you can play it either that turn or a later turn, depending on if you've played a land that turn or not, of course. Deconstruct. Oh, Deconstruct is a free spell. It's 3 mana to destroy an artifact, but you get 3 mana back. That's neat. Far Wanderings gets you 1 basic, unless you have a lot of stuff in your discard pile. Then you can get up to 3 basics. Field Trip gets a basic forest only. Flare of Cultivation. You can sacrifice a non-token green creature instead of paying the mana cost. Genesis Wave. Grow from the Ashes. No. Growth Spat. So you get 1 basic land or 2 if you pay 5 instead of 3. Search your library for a basic land, put in the battlefield, then get an Eldrazi. Okay. Up to X basic land cards, where X is the number of tap creatures you control. Huh. Actually, I really like that one. Search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the number of tapped creatures you control. You know what? We're gonna run that. Since we plan on having tokens, our hope is just that we have enough tokens that we can tap them and not have them all die. So as long as we have at least 3 tapped creatures, heck, even 2 tapped creatures would probably be a decent rate, but 3 tapped creatures or more is even better. So this is kind of aspirational, and I gotta do this. We're up to 7 pieces ramp. Journey of Discovery. For three mana, you can search your library for 2 basic lands, put them into your hand. Or you can just play 2 additional lands this turn. Or you can pay 6 to do both of those. I didn't know. Kodama's Reach is Cultivate. Map of the Wastes is silly. Nissa's Pilgrimage, is that one of the better ones? 2 basic land cards, reveal, put one of them in the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand. If you have 2 or more instants and or sorcery cards, you can search for 3 basic forests, but you still only get 1 directly into play. That's still better than Cultivate. Path to the Festival. Okay, that cares about basic land types, which we only have 1. Kick or sacrifice a creature. Well, we can sacrifice a squirrel. Yeah, Primal Growth, because we can sacrifice a squirrel to pay 3 to get 2 basic lands into play. And they come into play untapped for the record with this one, so that's cool. Recross the Paths. Reveal cards until you get a land. Oh, and then you have to clash. That's too much work. Sacrifice a land to search your library for a basic land and put it directly into play. Okay. Restorative Technique. See, that doesn't sound like... It's also a cantrip, but that's not ramp because you have to sacrifice. Target player gains 2 life, then searches his or her library for a basic land card, puts in the battlefield tapped, then shuffles, and then put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. That is a lot of stuff that it still doesn't feel like something I would do. Return from the Wilds. And that still only gets you 1 land. That's still garbage. Huh. Oh, I see. This is pay 1 green to add 1 mana of any color, and then you get a mana dork for 3. That's play an additional land. Search for Tomorrow at least puts it into play untapped, and then you can also suspend it for 1 to get it 2 turns later. That's mildly interesting. We're not doing that, but that's at least mildly interesting. Spoils of Victory. Putting it into play untapped again is at least better, but I'm still not doing that. And then you get a Tree Folk if you control a lot of lands. Oh, they went this way. Oh, and you get to investigate. That's mildly interesting. But no, it'd be better if you just drew a card. And I still probably wouldn't play it. Everybody gets a basic land. Oh, hey, look, it's an older card that doesn't make it come into play tapped and makes those other newer cards look even more garbage. Yavimaya Bloom Mage. Oh, that's right. This is the one that comes with channel stapled to it. So we're at 8. So let's look at the mana value 4, because we ramp on 2, and that means we can ramp again on 3. That does put us behind people like Maldhalland who ramp on 1. But yeah, I don't want to put mana elves in this deck. Look at the top 7. 2 lands go into the battlefield tapped. Search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the number of different powers among creatures you control. Well, we're not going to have a lot of different powers since we're making a lot of tokens. Up to 2 basic land cards and or gate cards when the battlefield tapped in the shuffle. See, these ones are cool, quote unquote, because they're basically 2 rampant growth stapled together. And this one can choose gates instead. We don't have any gates, but that's like a thing. For each opponent, choose up to 1 target artifact or enchantment that player controls. For each permanent chosen this way, its controller may exile it. Then, if one or more of the chosen permanents are still on the battlefield, you search your library for up to that many land cards from the battlefield tapped and shuffle. That, you're not supposed to give your opponents choices, but I kind of like that card. But we're not playing it. I do think it's neat. Top 6. Explosive Vegetation is just a simple 2 rampant growth stapled together. Ooh, Hunting Wilds is good. It has a silly kicker that's completely unnecessary, but it says 2 forest cards and it doesn't say basic. So if you're in a multicolored deck, Hunting Wilds will get you your duels. Hold on, someone sent me a message, and there's someone I like replying to. Oh. There we go. Map the Frontier, 2 basics, or deserts. And there are dual land deserts, so that's cool. Oh, Migration Path. It's like the other ones, but we can, if we feel like we're fine on lands, we can just cycle it instead. It does say basics. Destroy target land, search your library for a forest, and put that card into play tap. Okay, we don't play in the power levels where we're worried about that. New Generation's Technique. Oh, this is the sneak version, where we can return a tapped creature to our hand. A tapped, unblocked creature, yeah. An unblocked, attacking creature that is tapped. Wait. It doesn't have to be tapped, it just has to be unblocked. An unblocked attacker. We're not doing that, but that's cool. Path of the Animist. I thought this was the same as another card, but that had a different name. Search your library for 2 basic land cards when the battlefield tap and shuffle. Starting with you, each player votes for Planeswalk or Chaos. Oh, that's Plane Chase. Library to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards when the battlefield tapped. And oh, this is a worse Cultivate because it costs one more, and the only other upside for that 1 mana is Scry 1. Planar Engineering. Oh, I realized I didn't see 2 other cards because they were instants. I probably should look at the instants. Because I didn't see the Roiling Regrowth or Harrow, because I think they're both instants. So this is sacrifice 2 lands and then you get 4 basics out, so you still ramp by 2. But that's for mana fixing. 2 forests. Oh, and they don't have to be basic, so this is another one of those good ones. This one gets towns. I don't know. I don't think towns were on the dual lands train. And this one also says forest cards. Vasquez Surge gets us 2 lands, but if we pay an additional 4, we can put +1/+1 counters on all of our creatures. Ring tempts you. Cares about number of legendary creatures. Terramorph. This has rebound. That's why. So you get a land now and a land next turn. Return all lands from your graveyard to the battlefield. I understand. Attempt. We're not even going to bother reading that. That gets a land card. That just gets 1. It also gets a Nissa Planeswalker. Okay, so we're going to go back. We're going to change sorcery to instant. We're going to go back to mana value 1. Turn to dust. Destroys an equipment and then it pays for itself. That's not ramp per se. But it, well, no, it's not ramp because it's just a free spell. Although I guess that people will count that as ramp. Prize fight. Oh, you get a treasure token. You do a fight and you get a treasure token. This will get us a lander token after destroying an artifact or enchantment. If it was a small one. Play an extra land. Get one of them Eldrazi's. Okay. Archdruid's Charm. Search your library for a creature or land. Put it into play. If it's a land card, otherwise put it in your hand. Cycle of Renewal, Harrow, and Roiling Regrowth are all only ramp you by 1 for 3 mana, so I don't. They're only good in multicolor deck if you really need to fix. That's what those are for. Interest Restoration. Sacrifice a land. Okay, hold on. Sacrifice a land. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards put on the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle. That's the same as those other ones, and kind of garbage. If you control a creature power 4 or greater, like our commander, we get 3 basic lands. So we get 2 onto the battlefield. So I think that one is, again, that is aspirational, like some of the other ones we've paid. But as long as we have our commander in play, we're fine. Okay, now let's see what we have in the 4 mana slot. I think we're fine with 5. Or 9. Especially since we have the 3 things over here that turn our creatures into dorks. And I do like our aspirational cards because they're like cards I don't normally play. Because I've been thinking about ramp ever since that one episode that I said I'd listened to. And I'm like, that makes a good point. So that puts us at 54. So, Idol of Oblivion, because we're going to be making tokens with our commander. Tome of Legends, because we want to attack with our commander. Swiftfoot Boots, because we're protecting our commander, and we want her to have haste. Lightning Greaves for the same reason. Send her to Mordor with the Mithril Coat. We are gonna grab other equipment. I don't know if you heard those cars out there, but they were certainly cars. I don't mind putting Shroud on her because I don't plan on equipping her too much. We'll do Champion's Helm. We'll blinging this up after we get everything. Shadow Spear to remove Hexproof Indestructible from our opponents. That's just usually a good idea. There we go. We kind of, because I put a T there, kind of messed up everything after the O. Has Vigilance. Plus O, you know what? Yeah, plus O plus 8 and Vigilance for our Squirrel Girl. It doesn't give her Indestructible, but plus O plus 8 sure puts in a good word. Hammer of Nazahan, even though we're not like running a whole lot of equipment, it gives her Indestructible, and it auto equips. Oh, Unstable Molecule Suit? Sure, why not? +2/+2 and Indestructible. And equips for 2 on the commander. And the Whisper Silk Cloak. There we go. Protection. And protection. Oh, and the shield also can tap down a blocker, so that's cool. Okay, so we have 34 spots left, I think. Yes. I think it's time that we put in squirrels. And I said that even though it's probably not going to all be squirrels, because there's actually another section that cares about tokens. I'm grabbing this guy for the wording. those tokens plus. Let's see if... Okay, good. So Peregrine Took creates food in addition to our squirrels. And we can sacrifice food to draw a card. She makes frogs that we can use to make her bigger. Or just to have frogs. This makes us Thopters. This one, Tippy Toe, also makes us food. But also, if we eat the food, we can draw a card. Now I'm going to search for different wording. So we're going to search for the words that many. Huh. Well, that costs 5 to bring out. But whenever you are dealt damage, you may put that many vial counters on Angel Heart Vial. Then you can pay 2 and tap to remove 4 counters to gain 2 life and draw a card. Mildly interesting. But it's your initial investment is 5, and so I'm not a fan. My token got invalidated. Oh, we gotta wait for it to recover. That is a thing that happens sometimes. Oh, and I think my... Oh, yep, my music stopped probably some time ago. But I'd been talking. Float with a PH. Topher Moore and Alex Elena. There we go. Okay. We were going to page 2. And actually, Druid's Call. Whenever enchanting creature is dealt damage, its controller puts that many 1/1 squirrels into play. Yes. It's a silly card that I want. Oh, we gotta do this one more time. Almost passed by it. But I would have found it in when we were looking for squirrel stuff. Actually, I did pass by it considering there's Jester's Mask. And I was going to go to page 2. Honorary Squirrel Old Gnawbone is very tempting, but we'll see where we are towards the end of the deck. The Aether Spark is a tempting item just because you can use it to draw cards every couple of turns. Actually, probably after the initial equip, you probably draw cards from it every time. We'll put it in for now. It might come back out. But I just realized we're going to be unnecessarily mean to squirrels. We got to drag you and put you down in tokens. There we go. Took is over here because they prioritized the draw portion of his ability. What was I going to look for? Removing stuff around. Looking at being unnecessarily mean to the squirrels. Since they are at base 1/1 creatures, we are going to non-bow with like Squirrel Sovereign. And I think we're going to put an illegal card in this deck. Because there's a funny creature. So we're going to search for stuff that has Squirrel. But we are also going to do that. It's going to put in stuff that is out. So now we got to do this. To make Cornelia to go away. Okay, good. Huh. Probably not good enough, but I'm going to read Animal Friend. Enchanted creature has, whenever this creature attacks, put a 1/1 green squirrel creature token into play. Then put a +1 counter on that token for each aura and equipment attached to this creature other than Animal Friend. It's mildly interesting, probably not good enough. Oh, I recognize this tune from a lot of TikToks. Oh, If I Had a Chicken by Kevin MacLeod. Okay. We're not going to Chitter Spitter. Cloakwood Hermit creates squirrels, but I don't feel like at a high enough rate. Deep Forest Hermit gives us 4 squirrels and a temporary buff to our squirrels for 4 turns, so I think that's worth it. Deranged Hermit does the same thing, although he's a lot more temporary if we don't pay the echo cost. Here's the illegal card, the Earl of Squirrel. He has Squirrel Link, where damage dealt by this creature also causes you to create that many squirrels. That's our illegal card. The Dray Leader makes our squirrels bigger, but I'm not really interested in that. That makes a bunch of squirrels, but everyone gets them. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Create a 1/1 squirrel for each fire extinguisher you can see from your seat. That's funny. Any player can get that squirrel. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may create a squirrel. But he starts at 6. Jeez. Oh, there's a change in land. This can put a +1/+1 counter on all of our squirrels that entered that turn. Squirrel mob gets bigger for all of our squirrels, though it doesn't have trample. That's unfortunate. Squirrel dealer is just mildly funny because it's a raccoon lizard bird that if you know someone who likes squirrels, you get a squirrel. Spider Ham can go into this deck. Scurry Oak doesn't make that many squirrels, if we're being honest. Oh, Squirrel Nest can turn land into a squirrel factory. Costs 3 though. Squirrel Sovereign. I'll put in the nest. That's attractions. We do not care about that. Sacrificing lands to make squirrels. That's funny. Forage to add mana, or search your library for a squirrel, put it in your hand and shuffle. This thing gets... Oh, it has... Okay, yes. This thing gets bigger when other squirrels come into play, and it has trample, and it only costs 1 to get it out. So that's good. We are going to re-click that. How many illegal cards do we have? We're still bracket 2. Fair. Counters, anthems, pump, tokens. We're at 82. So now we're going to actually search for cool squirrels.
Watch hit movies and TV shows on YouTube.
The girl is his Achilles heel. The safety is the most important thing to me.
Get stars and more streaming channels to watch your favorites on YouTube.
And if your friends aren't cool with you playing Earl of Squirrel, well, either... Or, you know, trade it out for whatever. It's a 6-mana 4/4 that makes squirrels when it deals combat damage. Oh, and it makes all of our creature tokens squirrels in addition to the other types, so that's actually kind of cool. Because it makes our frogs into squirrels, which I think is the only other kind of creature token that we're making. Oh no, our Thopters are also squirrels. We've played every song in this playlist once already. That's mildly interesting. Because they're all very short songs. Okay. I recognized... I could have swore we listened to this song before. That's why I checked. And I'm like, oh. It's because we have. So what are we at? 82. Sure, please. Hold on. I have a very nice neighbor who checks my mail for me. I'll have to remember to edit out his voice if he got caught on the recording. I'm going to take a drink of something. He also checks my mail way faster than I can. My bail box is like down a set of stairs and across the street from me. And I know that ain't as bad as people who live in big old buildings, but I'm also I'm gonna mute again. So enjoy the music. Okay, there we go. Anyway, creates a food. You and an oh, this one's actually really cool. You and an opponent create a treasure, but whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-creature token, they get 2 poison counters. Like, that's just a nice little just a funny, silly thing that either won't matter at all or really annoy one of your opponents. So let's add it. Also, removal bait. Frog squirrels have reach. That might not ever matter, but actually, you know what? No. Actually, no. I changed my mind again. I also realized I didn't put a whole lot of removal in here. And I'm putting that in protection because while it means something different. I guess my whole thing is that I'm just doing my thing and hoping to win. Scurry of squirrels.
For procurement,
Oh, Myriad.
is the go-to partner that helps keep your healthcare facilities ready for patients. Because there's no time to manage orders and deliveries from multiple
That's just fun.
suppliers, Granger offers everything in one place.
The Crozen Beast,
To lighting, air
who gets really big if there's a lot of stuff on our discard pile.
delivery that helps ensure you always have what you need to put patient care first. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger.
And when it enters, oh, this is one of those things. Okay, this is like that clan caller, only it costs more. We're not opening any attractions. I'm still not doing that. Oh, Toski. How many creatures are we at? I'm just mildly curious. We're at 20 creatures. Very few of them actually squirrels. But again, our commander creates squirrels, so that's all that matters. She creates them herself. Probably want more draw. What are we at? Hold on. We're at 88, so we have 12. I'm going to throw in some pieces of removal. now that I remember that removal exists. I'm tempted to put in old Gnawbone. Oh yeah, because the tokens, the treasure tokens will allow us to make more squirrels. So you're there. Where's the other one? You know what? We're going to put them in the same section. And since Squirrel Mob is here, it makes sense to go this way. Oh, and I have 38 lands. Is there anything... Like, we don't need this. That's what's funny. I just thought it was neat. And also, this isn't as a sorcery. I don't think I need... You know what? I'm just going to stick with 38 lands. Yeah, I'm going to stick with 38 lands. I normally do 37, but every now and then we do a 38. Oh, you know what we don't need? We don't need the Path of Ancestry because... Wait, no, is she a squirrel? She counts as a squirrel, never mind. And but that's cast a spell. Yeah, that's cast a spell, and we don't actually have a lot of... we don't have a lot of squirrels, and while we could scry off of casting our commander, it was an easy cut. $21 creatures. Like, when your commander makes creatures... You don't feel the need to glut your deck with creatures. Okay, so T instant O tag removal order Team C. She is good friends with Wolverine, so we are going to use that. Ooh, this one from the Mystical Archives is pretty cool too, just for the record. Huh. Aerial Volley, lightning bolt-ish for flying creatures. Leaf Arrow, the actual lightning bolt for flying, because this one can divide its 3 damage. Legolas's quick reflexes. Oh, Legolas's reflexes is neat. It has split second, so it's difficult but not impossible to interact with. Untap target creature until end of turn it gets hexproof reach, and whenever this creature becomes tapped, it deals damage equal to its power up to 1 target creature. That's just mildly interesting. Nature's Claim, but I guess I'm just such a big Final Fantasy VI fan. I'm like, I really loved their game capture, their screen cap cards. too worried about creature removal, if I'm being honest. There is one that I know that I passed by, but it might also be a sorcery. You know what? I'm still going to stick with Beast within as my catch-all. You never know. Because that 3/3 Beast doesn't matter to my deck. Do or Die by Dougie Wood, and sounds like there are lyrics, which is mildly interesting. Oh, wait, hold on. Go Nuts. That has Squirrel Girl on it and a bunch of squirrels, so let's see what this does. Teamwork 3 is an additional cost to cast a spell. You may tap any number of creatures you control with total power 3 or more. Choose one. If you did Teamwork, you get both. Plus one will encounter, and target creature you control fights a creature an opponent controls. Mildly interesting. Okay. Not going to use it, but that's cool. Especially since we're in a deck with easy teamworkness. Oh, Atrax's Fall. Destroy target artifact, battle, enchantment, or creature with flying. I'm pretty sure that point in this story you kind of did all of that. Oh, Choco Kick is neat for sorcery. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. If you return to land to your hand, you deal twice that damage instead. We're grabbing Nylea's Intervention to destroy creatures with flying. I think I missed... something. I want Squirrel Girl to do a spinning wheel kick, I don't care. Oh wait, is super combo even better? Hold on. No, it might not be. No, I think they might actually be equal. Yeah, let's have her do a super combo as well. That's fun.
Pallets are stacked, and trucks are waiting at the dock. The last thing you want is to run short on the supplies that keep your warehouse moving. Granger is there to help make sure nothing runs out when shipments are rolling out. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Okay, I'm fairly certain I missed something. Well, there's Pest Infestation. I know I missed that. Going back to Instant, because there's something I know I missed. But I don't remember its name. I just am vaguely aware of where it is on the... in the alphabet. Collective Resistance, there it is. puts us at 96. Super Combo has not been O-tagged as removal yet. I'm liking this deck just because I put a bunch of cards I don't normally put into a deck, like sorcery speed removal, but sorcery speed removal that makes me smile. Oh, there's a card in ramp that needs to go into removal because of how I am more likely to use it. Because I only have one flying creature, and that's Old Gnawbone. Squirrel Mob is a non-bow with our Skull Clamp, but that's fine. Putting a creature with reach and protection, that's hilarious. Oh, Boo Boogie by Dougie Wood. This is a jam. Actually, boy, something I don't normally put in. But Heroic Intervention might be a good idea to protect us from a board wipe. It doesn't really protect us from the kind of board wipes I play. That's what's funny. Like Aetherize or Settle the Wreckage that don't destroy or target. We are now going to bling out the deck. Huh. PW25, don't know what that is. But we'll do, this is a panorama card. I think that's what they call them. Like, because there's other cards. Oh, you know we got an old border. Read that. That's okay. So that is Marvel, and that's the one we would normally use. But I don't feel like looking at MODOK. I want to look at this goofy guy cosplaying as Magneto. The unobtainable serialized one. The Snicker Golden. Weird. Anyway. Oh, this Toski, obviously. We got to Laura Croft this. I mean, we could Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle it, but I'd rather keep it a spear. We'll do this one, the classic comic. Wow, they did a lot of different Marvel heroic interventions. We got to do the Spider-Man one, I think. That Mirror Shield never got a reprint. Feels criminal. Oh, it's because it's getting reprinted in Hobbit. That's neat.
Watch hit movies and TV shows on YouTube.
I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the entire world.
Buy or rent new releases and get more streaming services to watch your favorites on YouTube. The newspaper one. I don't think I like every card on this particular bonus sheet, but this is a fun bonus sheet, even though it makes the cards slightly more difficult to read when you stack them up. Since the name is no longer at the top, it just says Prosperity. It's interesting how some uncommons get the borderless and some don't. Yeah, but I ended up putting the squirrel nest in here because I felt like it. It's 1 mana, make it squirrel. Whatever. Huh. I'll take the one that doesn't seem to automatically be foil. Okay, oh, and we still have 3 spots left. Just that I was done with removal. Okay, I'm gonna hit over here for creatures really quick because I'm curious. Ah, they really want this one. Oh, token, yeah, tokens add green. course, tokens add green. Hold on, that goes in combo. Thank you, EDH Rec, for reminding me of a card. I still think Nut Collector is a little expensive, and while the threshold might happen, I'm not. No, it's still not on that, and no, not those. Give all of our creatures Death Touch, I understand. Champion of Lambbolt is like those other two, only it doesn't care what kind of creature comes into play. Oh, I never checked Changelings. That is a good point. Metallic Mimic if I really cared, but I don't want the Metallic Mimic and the Squirrel Sovereign. I only wanted one thing that would break the use of Skull Clamp. But you don't have trample like the other two, and you're not a squirrel like the other one. Artifacts, yeah, Soul Ring, Emerald Medallion. Actually, sure, to the Emerald Medallion. But we'll do that one, because that's a ramp for every spell in the deck. Banner of Kinship, I kind of understand. Phyrexian Altar, I also understand, but we're not doing that. One more. We put a creature in, and I already changed the way she looked. Okay. Yeah, we're not parallel livings or doubling seasonings. What does Springleaf Parade do? Oh, that's another thing for the combo, and because it can make shapeshifters that are also squirrels. Okay, that'll be the 100th card. That's a ton of scrying, but that would be annoying, that's why I'm not doing it. So will you put you there? Hey look, we have... And I think that's 4 of each half of the combo of making things faster. No, it's not. It's mostly things that do the mana. Let's see. Add 1 haste or adjacent. 2 add, 3 add, 4 add. 4 add and 2 haste adjacent. Yeah, it's 5 and 3. It's 5 and 3. Okay. That was an unnecessary. Can this deck actually beat Doom? Probably not. Is it cool and fun? Probably. We're at an hour and 45, so we're going to go a little longer. We're going to do a little bit more. New deck. Oh, we're an hour 45 plus plus the 55 from the previous one. I'm still gonna look at the rest of green. Oh, that was an ad that I was not fast enough to skip because it was very short. So let's go back over here. So the thing, Ben Grimm, whenever one or more heroes you control deal damage to a player, he gets 2+1/+1 counters. He also costs 6, not impressed. I don't remember our 4-color hero deck, but the thing probably went in there. Actually, I'm going to check, because we can just go here. Yeah, crystal clear. She slaps tornadoes. Okay, it looks like they didn't go into this deck. But I definitely know I looked at them because there's Mr. Fantastic. I'm just gonna bing all the way back here. So what does he do? 6 mana again. Trample. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you've cast a non-creature spell, this is the non-creature stuff again. He gets 4+1/+1 counters, and then whenever he attacks, you can pay red, green, white, blue to double the power or double the number of each kind of counter on any number of target permanents. Okay. The Fabulous Frogman, he just has reach and he's a 3/3 for 3. Good for him. And that's the kind of guy that if I knew who he was, I'd be a fan of him. There's the storm that breaks stuff. She-Hulk, she powers up. Here's the guy that lets us activate abilities. This is that haste. +1/+1 counter stuff. Oh, here's the guy who doesn't want to cure cancer. He wants to make dinosaurs. I'm not gonna make this deck, but like, yeah, Sauron, dinosaur. Oh, he's a vampire. I did not know he was part vampire. You learn something new every day. We're not making him. Because there's displaced dinosaurs that I'd rather play instead. If I'm being honest. So, still doing green. Okay, let's see. Rick Jones, destined sidekick. He mills ourselves, and then you get back a hero or enchantment from those cards that you milled. Rhino, terrible trampler. He has trample. He's a 7/6 with trample. When he enters, he destroys an artifact or land. And then you distribute +1/+1 counters on your other stuff, and they gain trample until end of turn as well. Reptile, he can turn into other shapes. He can turn into a 3/5 dinosaur or a 6/6 dinosaur. Is that an I? Nakia. Whenever your commander enters, you become the monarch. That's cool. And she can be the commander, so that's funny. And then she puts plus muscle counters on creatures or vehicles. Moon Boy, Dino Rider. Makes dinosaur spells cheaper. And he's a 3/3 if you attack while controlling a dinosaur. Or Mole Man, Moloid Master. Maybe he lands from your graveyard. Hey, another Remnant Excavator.
Because there's no time to manage orders and deliveries.
And then you get a green minion on landfall
Offers everything in one place. From disinfectants to
that
light
gives you an option to mill a card.
all with fast
Mr. Immortal.
that helps ensure you always have what you need to put patient
He's
care
just
first.
immortal.
Call 1-800
Mr. Hyde,
Ranger.
Monster
Or just
Within.
stop by. Ranger, for the ones
I do like him because he does the thing where you can remove +1/+1 counters to draw a card. But he's not a mutant, so that's why he didn't go into that one deck. But also, at the beginning of your upkeep, you can either put a +1/+1 counter on him, or remove a counter from creature control to draw a card. Big fan, because if you have other things doing +1/+1 counters, you always get to draw that extra card. And you don't have to remove it from him. It's any creature that you control, you can remove a counter from. Medusa, the Inhuman Queen. Whenever any player casts a non-creature spell, she gets a +1/+1 counter. So she's a Mana Gorger, I think. Although that might be any spell, you know, one of those things. M'Baku. The beginning of your end step, if there's no monarch, target opponent becomes the monarch. Whenever a creature attacks one of your opponents, if that player is the monarch, that creature gets +1 and gains trampled on their turn. Neat. Lucky the Pizza Dog. Hold on. Whenever you cast a cat, dog, or hero spell, you get a food. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain life, you get a +1/+1 counter on this dog. We're going to start doing things like this. Khazar of the Savage Land. Khazar. Look at the top card of your library during time. You may put lands from the top of your library. Sweet. But he costs 5, so that's like whatever. And whenever he enters, you get more creature for creature. And you get one of those Scythe Cats that get +1/+1 counters on landfall. Hulk, the strongest there is. This isn't even the strongest Hulk. He's a 4/4 with trample, but one of those powers and toughnesses are from a counter. And then those counters double each turn. Okay, that's Hulkling. Not related to any of the Hulks, because he's a Kree Skrull. Whenever another creature you control enters, if it has greater power... Okay, this is Evolve without calling it Evolve. Which is weird, because Evolve is in this set, if I'm not mistaken. Hulk, Brutal Brawler. He attacks each combat Fable. When he attacks, he gets... all of our other creatures get +1/+1 counters. Okay. Oh, Hitmonkey, the not really new questing beast. Can't be countered. Reach, Vigilance, Death Touch, Hexproof, and Haste. Because it's only a 3/3. It doesn't have all that other text. But it has Hexproof, and it can't be countered. And it has Haste and Death Touch. Still cool. This is kind of a Voltron-y thing that we're not going to worry about. Hercules, Prince of Power. He powers up. And yeah, whatever. Hellcat dies. She comes back once. She has Undying. But she can only Undying once. That's why they didn't keyword it. Goliath. He has Reach. And then a power-up that allows you to draw cards, maybe. Oh, Giant Man. He's 5 mana, but he does do a significant amount of ramping as long as you have big creatures. Flat Man, we saw him. He can turn himself from a 1/10 to a 10/1. Doorman gives a thing. They haven't keyworded this, but can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. And also walls. Doc Samson. That deals with counters, +1/+1 or otherwise. Devil Dinosaur is a 5/5 with trample that anthems other dinosaurs. So that's not bad for mono green dinosaurs. Darwin. He can make himself indestructible. And see, he has evolved. Probably because his name's Darwin. Colossus. During your turn, he's indestructible. And then he's the anthem for mutants. Bushmaster. He has Death Touch. And each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter has Death Touch. There's a deck here. The green +1/+1 counter deck that I don't want to do. Mana Dork that you gain a life if you control another mutant. Big Bertha again. Abomination, Irradiated Brute. Trample, whenever a gamma or villain you control deals combat damage to a player, put that many +1/+1 counters on the Abomination. Okay, that's cool. Again, it's +1/+1 counters. The only time I want to do +1/+1 counters again is with Mr. Hyde. And I don't know if I want to make him. So now we're at red. Okay. Whoops. That was silly. And he only really draws us 1 extra card a turn. That's the thing. But I do like the removing counters to do stuff. That's no, where is that? That is over here. Why, a couple episodes ago it was like Esper +1/+1 counters I mentioned, where that had like Brajon, Irma, the Cruel Sadist, Unliving Psychopath, and Yawgmoth in it. I think Irma came up. Oh, Irma came up because we were doing that clone Taskmaster deck. See, but that doesn't have green, so Mr. Hyde doesn't go in it. So that's it for this week. Oh, hey, look, it's its own line. Next week we start on looking at the red stuff. See you then.